Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new week of Pick and Roll live streams on the Board YouTube channel. Where on this channel we go through NBA betting content, whether it is free picks like we do in this live stream, or educational content, or even the playoff previews that we did last week. And as we've seen from the game so far, some great information was processed over there. So hopefully you guys had some time to check those out. But as always, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel for all the great content we have coming for the NBA playoffs. Drop a like on this stream in particular if you find yourself enjoying, and follow us on Twitter at the Board HQ for all updates on future content we have planned for you over the course of those playoffs. So, as we always do, we're going to start off with the recap of the previous days or previous shows bets. Then we're going to go into the bets for today. We have one official pick coming for you guys, and then we'll talk about some matchups, just some small things around the league. So unfortunately, we have to recap the 0-2 day that we had to end off the play-in tournament. Things just didn't really go as expected overall. The Bam one in particular was a little bit frustrating. Bam Adebayo, for some reason in the playoffs, loses a lot of the motivation to play, but yeah, things did not go as we would have liked. Pips, do you want to comment on any of the plays here from the play-in tournament games?
Gobert and Shea's blowout. That's nothing to talk about it there. Didn't expect a blowout in do or die game.
Definitely not.
Second part, we end up losing by 1 point our spread for the first time in
Yeah, after we
a
talked
long
about
time.
there's no way it
Yeah,
stays under and Miami win
yeah,
by 11 points. Or by
yeah,
11.
yeah. And the thing is, it was like tight game with 2 minutes left, and they somehow lost by double digits, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, okay, at the halftime, okay, we lost this one. Bam just looked terrible, and of course, last game he made almost every jumper he took, and yeah, that's the Bam Adebayo experience, and the playoffs for now, great games, very tough to bet on.
Yeah. They've I mean they always prove to be difficult. You're trying to get a read for what these players are doing. Sports books, like we've talked about, have so much time to prepare for this. There's so much time for sports bettors to shape these markets. So it does make it difficult, but we had some success with the play-in tournament, just unfortunately not for those Friday games. But today is our first ever playoff specific episode where we're going to be talking about NBA playoff games. And to do that, we do have the same game parlay for you guys today. Just going to pull it up here to make sure everything is good. And yes, we have it up here. Okay, it's actually better odds than what I had earlier. So let me just adjust some things here. But we are going to be going to the Golden State Warriors against the Sacramento Kings for this one, and we're going to have a big same game parlay for you guys. Okay, so we're going to go a half unit. Have it ready here. We're going to go for a half unit on Draymond Green over 6.5 assists. We're going to put it with Steph Curry, 25 plus points. We're going to have De'Aaron Fox over 23.5 points and Domantas Sabonis over 10.5 points, along with the alt game total of over 229.5. So I'll repeat that for people in audio. Draymond Green over 6.5 assists. Steph Curry, 25 plus points. De'Aaron Fox over 23.5 points. Domantas Sabonis over 10.5 rebounds, and the game total over 229.5. These are all outlines for anybody who wants that reassurance. All right. So, Pips, you seem to have a good read on the matchup for this one. So, why don't you take us through what you like about this same game parlay here? And by the way, that was plus 257 on FanDuel, and once again, half unit there. But take it away.
So the first part, I'll talk about game total. Last game we saw 249 points in the game, and if you take a look at the efficiency of these teams, almost on the average. So Golden State a bit over the average, Kings a bit under the average. So the total points of the game were pretty much expected to be at 250. And the pace was 104, which I think we could see maybe even like that's the range I expect this game to be again tonight. So if they score 250 on average, efficiency, I'm pretty sure we are pretty safe with 230 plus points. And if we get a close game of 230 points, more than 230 points scored, this has a great chance of hitting. Like, just unbelievable chance of hitting. So I'll go just the first one, Damon Green, over 6.5 assists. This is the pace that works great for Draymond. He was great on defense, especially in the first three quarters. Last quarter was a bit not great defense by Golden State Warriors overall, but yeah. So Draymond Green ended up having 24 potential assists in that game. So that's expected for him to have 14 assists in that game. And so going over 6.5 makes a ton of sense. Yeah, Clay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and Steph Curry were playing off the ball. They didn't have much on ball reps at all. So without Steph Curry was completely off the ball entire game. Maybe had like 5 possessions where he was on the ball. So everything going through Draymond Green, I'm pretty should be pretty good, great. This is actually the highest price for in our entire bet is for Draymond Green to have 6 or more assists, but I'm very confident with that bet. I'll probably go like a single bet with over 7.5 if it wasn't so juiced.
Mhm.
So I'm confident taking 6.5. 24 potential assists is just crazy number, and we'll get another great pace, poor defense kind of game. So we're going with Draymond. Second part of this is Steph Curry. Last game he scored 30 points while not being as aggressive as he should be. He only started being aggressive like from late into the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and he just dropped a ton of points on this Kings team. And I expect him to be more aggressive from the start. That was the first game, and they need him to step up. In the first half, he took Clay Thompson and Wiggins took more shots than Steph Curry. That's just not something you want from this game. Yeah, Davion Mitchell did a great job defending Steph Curry, but that's only for like 10 minutes of the 36 minutes in the entire game. So I'm confident that De'Aaron Fox and Barnes can stay in front of Steph Curry no matter what, especially with Sabonis being involved in the pick and roll. So yeah, I think Steph Curry should step up and score 30 plus points tonight again.
Yeah.
No reason not to. Like, if you say someone that they will have first round playoff down one, Steph Curry being guarded by De'Aaron Fox or Barnes, everyone will expect 50 points. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't want to just like it's kind of a square approach here, but like how many times does Steph Curry, when the Warriors need a win, does he just rise up and take it over? So yeah, I love that part.
Especially in like one of these matchups possible. Like De'Aaron
Yeah.
Fox just came not even close to being able to guard. So then we go to the third part, and that's De'Aaron Fox. And De'Aaron Fox had poor first half. He had 9 points in the first half, and they asked him about it, and he said like, first, this is what guys like, come on, like this is my first career playoff game ever, and I just was trying to get used to the physicality of it. And then second half, he said like, okay, that's it. That's my game now. And he
I'm
scored
adjusted.
29. Yeah, he scored 29 points in the second half only. And the way I see it, I don't think Golden State Warriors have the way to stop the Aaron Fox. Like, he's just too quick getting to the line, making mid-range, wide open mid-range when they just drop back to him. If they go up to him, he's the quickest player on the floor. And even with Malik Monk taking so much from him in the fourth quarter, he still ended up scoring 20, almost 20 points in the last quarter. So I don't think tonight he can wait that long to start attacking. And this is not the second playoff game for him, so I expect a bit more aggressive in the first half. And another huge performance from the Aaron Fox shouldn't be in the question marks here. The third part of this bet, or the I would say fourth part, I think this is the easiest part of this bet because I loved it even the last time, and that Sabonis on rebounds. So Sabonis, so before this playoff, they played three times in the regular season, and Sabonis had 14, 14, and 22 rebounds, averaged 16.7 rebounds in three games against the Golden State Warriors. He averaged 22 rebound chances per 36 minutes in the entire season, and in three games against the Golden State Warriors, he averaged 30, like eight more rebound chances against the Golden State Warriors than compared to the rest of the regular season matchups. And last night he had 16, even though he was. I expect him to play more tonight and be more aggressive because he had the poorest game of the season. Like I'm pretty confident to say the worst game of the season came for Sabonis last game. And yeah, I think he should just kill them on the glass. The Warriors don't have enough. They can't play Looney and Draymond Green a lot together, so they need to play only one big at a time. Maybe like 10 minutes in the entire game they will play two bigs. And if there is only Draymond Green at five, Sabonis will out rebound him. And if it's only Kevin Looney, also Sabonis will out rebound him. So I think this is a great spot for Sabonis rebounds, and we saw it in the first game. He had 16 rebounds.
Yep.
That's it.
And
That's the entire bet. Yeah.
that's all. So there it is. Your big SGP on FanDuel, half unit plus 257 on that one. Just a one bet for today. Yes, just remember, guys, it's a small slate, and it's a small slate with incredibly sharp lines. And on that small slate, two games is also the 10-point spread between the Sixers and the Nets. So going for this one today. Hopefully we can go get over a unit of profit for this one. But I want to remind you guys that line shopping is always the most important thing when it comes to the bets that we put down here. We encourage you guys to always have the same sportsbook that we're using over here: FanDuel, DK, MGM, and sometimes Caesars. And you can make sure you're signed up for all of those sports books and make sure you're tailing at the best possible prices by signing up to different sports books. To help you do that, we have the special link in description with BetStamp. BetStamp.app/theboard to make sure that you guys can sign up for the sports books, get the best prices, and make yourselves a little bit better, sharper betters. If you're going to be betting sometimes different prices, instead of getting a full unit, sometimes you're getting maybe 0.9, and that makes significant difference over a long period of time. So line shopping is always the key for these. But let's transition now into some topics of conversation here. Already there's some conversation in the chat going on about the Giannis injury and how this could affect the series if Tyler Hero, who's going to be out for the rest of the series. We don't know what's going on with Giannis as of yet, but Miami Heat, the 8 seed, up one game, and they look good against Milwaukee. Let's go to Pips. How do you think this series changes overall without Hero, and maybe to a bigger degree with Giannis not being fully healthy or even missing more time? Do you think the Bucks should still win this series?
Either way, Bucks should win this series. I have concern with Mike Budenholzer. Like one of the, I never was a fan. I'll
I think
say
I think winning a championship has buffered his stay because I don't think he's that great of a coach
he was
either, but he won a
about to.
championship. So
Yeah, he was about to lose his job if he didn't win that championship.
yeah,
And I think so many coaches in this league will do so much better with this kind of roster.
yeah,
Like, okay, they won the championship, yeah, great, but they could do it earlier and they could be better with some other coaches. And like for last game, we saw Brook Lopez being defended by Keller Martin and Gabe Vincent, and he didn't have any paint touches. Like that's just unexcusable. They didn't run anything from him. Even he had. That's like just imagine Brook Lopez size compared to Gabe Vincent. That's kind of absurd, and they didn't do
yeah.
anything for him. And on the other side, I don't think Miami will repeat this kind of shooting. They hit every mid range and they hit every three in the entire game and won only by 10 with Giannis being out. That's just not happening. And Bucks missed almost every three. So I just think this is one time thing.
Mhm.
Also, Miami Heat were 5 times better coached team in that game. Spo just did an
Yeah.
amazing job, and Mike didn't. Not even close enough. Didn't do anything great. So I think maybe Miami can take one more because of the huge edge on the coaching part. I think Giannis is getting back. Maybe not the next game, but sure, the game three Giannis is playing. So yeah, I think Bucks in six makes a lot of sense in this one.
Yeah, I was checking the odds on this series this morning. The Bucks are minus 230 to win this series, despite losing game one, despite the Giannis injury concerns. If Giannis doesn't play, I agree with you. I still think that the Bucks win this series. So I agree. Like Bucks and six kind of seems like the right thing for it to be if Giannis does not come back. One thing I do want to ask you about: if you guys caught our Western Conference playoff preview, Pips was very high on the Los Angeles Clippers, who were plus 370 to win that series. They just won game one yesterday, and they are on DraftKings. You might be able to get a better price, but just because I quickly looked before the show, they're plus 160 to win this series despite being up one game. So, Bibbs, any thoughts on a price maybe you'd want to see to play the Clippers to win that series? And maybe any more insight you can add into that series as a whole as to what you saw, because from
Yeah,
our Western Conference preview, you were pretty spot on about the mid range versus the three ball and how that would affect things. So yeah, take it away.
yeah, I watched the entire game and as great performance from KD and Kawhi, and it's pretty evens out. Kawhi was better and they won.
Yeah, they
But
guarded each other in the fourth. That was awesome to watch them guarding each other. That was so
yeah,
fun.
Kawhi, amazing game, and KD, amazing playmaking. He just
Hmm.
didn't force anything, and that's maybe the thing why they lost the game. But the thing is that I'm high on the Clippers than most than anyone. I am, but thing is I'm not as high on the Suns as everyone else is, and that's because they are losing the math game in 2023. And as we can see last night, they took 19 threes in 2023 playoff game. That's not nowhere near enough.
Yeah.
And four of those threes were from Tory Craig, or five even. That's absurd. Like
Mm.
25 points of 25% of your 3 points is by non-shooter. And yeah, that's just was weird. I'll just open the game box score to just check yeah. So they took 19 threes, and Clippers took 31. And I think we'll see more. I don't think 31 is enough. I think we'll see 40. I think we need to see 40 from the
Yeah.
Clippers because that's the way they win this. If if Suns shoot 23 and Clippers shot 40, I don't think I think Clippers should win this matchup, like even with not great performances. So Kawhi Leonard had unbelievable game of efficiency wise, everything wise, defense, everything. But no one else really did anything. Like decent game from Eric Gordon. He he shot 7 threes and there's all seven were completely wide open. And they won the game where Russell Westbrook shot three from 19. Russell Westbrook was
Wow.
3 from 19, and they won the game. And
Yeah.
Norman Powell didn't have a great game. Didn't even he played only 23 minutes. I was completely like blown out with the way Ty Lue used Norman Powell because I think that it was very poor. And
They still won.
yeah, and also Zubats outplayed DeAndre Ayton. Both sides of the court.
Hmm.
That, that,
To the
that,
offensive side, it's really difficult for them to get Aiden involved. Like they have to figure it out. That's on Monty Williams, but they're really struggling to get Aiden involved, and that was another thing you've talked about being a problem.
I think they actually did okay to get him involved from what I expected because DeAndre Ayton had 16 field goal attempts. That's more than KD. So they did
Maybe that's a
okay.
problem.
Yeah, they did better than I expected and better than they do usually with getting him involved. And that's why because Zubac is playing deep drop and mid range is there. Like and they iced the pick and roll with Durant, so the mid range was open because Durant made some unbelievable passes from in pick and roll, and that's why KD ended up with 11 assists in the game. That's huge. So yeah, they got nothing from scoring from Chris Paul. He scored 7 points, but Torrey Craig had 22 points. That's not going to repeat in this series. And yeah, if we take a look at their bench, they have one player on the bench. So Suns have 6-man rotation in this series. Because if you take a look, no other players than Jock Landry or than Landry Shamet played more than 7 minutes of the bench. So only 6 players played more than 7 minutes. And those players, so Josh Okogie, Wainwright, and Biombo played combined for 15 minutes. They were minus 14, minus 10, minus 12 in that game. So
Yikes.
yeah, bench is non-existent. They don't have anyone to play off the bench, while Clippers have Bones Highland, Terrence Mann, Mason Plumlee, Norman Powell. And they didn't play Robert Covington and Marcus Morris, and they will be like probably the fifth best player on the Suns team, and they will be starting on the Suns team. So, like, if you get a team, Norman Powell, Mason Plumlee, Terrence Mann, Bones Highland, Robert Covington, and Marcus Morris, that's decent starting lineup for like not that team that will win many games, but you can make a starting
Yeah,
lineup
you
and
can
win
play
some
in the
games.
NBA with that. You wouldn't make you'd probably be like the 13th seed with that team.
Yeah, but I
And that's the
mean,
bench. That's pretty good. Yeah.
yeah. That's actually great, and they are deep. And as I said, they didn't get anything from anyone outside the Russell, outside the Kawhi Leonard. Everyone else had pretty basic average game or terrible shooting night like Westbrook, and still won. So I think we are going to see at least 6 to 7 game series, and I think that's with the lead for the Clippers. This should be like pretty evenly matched series. I'll say 50-50 from moving forward from this.
Yeah, and if you caught our Western Conference playoff preview, the one way that we have tried at least to take advantage of this is one of the official picks. All three of us, we had Travis on for that one. All three of us love the over 5.5 in that series, so that was one of the official plays that we had.
Hopefully,
That's looking pretty good.
yeah. Hopefully we don't see Clippers winning 4-1.
Yeah, if the Clippers win 5, that would be that'd be really bad. We could have just bet the Clippers, but I'm seeing for the next game as well. Not really a lot of adjustments here. The Clippers are plus 7.5 on the spread. Pulling up Betstamp here. A lot of eights, or a couple eights, but it's 7.5 widely. I just think like it's a bit of an undervalue on the Clippers, but there's a big overvaluation on the Suns. So
I will just say the thing is the only I don't think Clippers can win the game where Kawhi Leonard is shooting poorly. That's
yeah.
that's the only thing. Like he needs to do great every game, and then someone else will do. They have so deep team that can do. But on the other side, it's either great game for KD, it's either great game for Devin Booker, it's either great game for DeAndre Ayton. So they have like more room for mistake, but depending on the mid-range shooting, maybe even not so much.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
all that makes sense. Clippers, if you're on the Clippers, you had a great start to the playoffs, but that is it on the show. Let's get you guys the recap of the official play from today. It is a big SGP here for plus 257 odds on FanDuel. Get this one 250 plus. That is good with us. Just try to get plus 250 and go half unit for this one. But the 5 legs of this SGP are Draymond Green over 6.5 assists, Steph Curry 25 plus points, De'Aaron Fox over 23.5 points, Domantas Sabonis over 10.5 rebounds, and the game total over 229.5. All of these are on the alternate line, so make sure you're going through the same game parlay section of FanDuel to lock this one in. But thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. We have some great content coming this week. We'll have some additional guests coming on the show as well. We had a great time last week with Brian and Travis on those videos. So we might have a guest this week on the Pick and Roll live streams, which should be some fun. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, stay up to date with all that stuff. Make sure to drop a like. And after this stream ends, you'll be redirected to our MLB channel here at the Hammer Betting Network, Call to the Pen, where they do a morning show like this at 12 p.m. Eastern time. You'll be redirected right there. So give it a chance. John Legeza hosts that one, and he's having a great MLB season so far. But for me and Pips, we'll see you tomorrow for more NBA stuff right here on Pick and Roll on the Board YouTube channel. Thanks again.